WUSA 9 Weather Impact Alert is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Good evening, I'm WUSA 9 Meteorologist Topper Shutt. Well, we have another weather impact alert on Saturday. And also, here's a tease, I also have one on Tuesday. But let's go through Saturday first because it's in some ways similar to Wednesday. We're going to have less freezing rain than we had on Wednesday, but the timing is different. So the timing is more impactful because, Wednesday night everybody was sleeping. By the time we got up Thursday morning, it wasn't so bad. So here's the thing. Colder air is going to move in tonight. Area of high pressure will set up shop in New York State, and that's cold, drier air will dam up against the mountains. And that's going to produce, again, snow at first, but then as warm air intrudes, it's going to go to sleet and freezing rain. The mountains kind of act like a dam. And remember, cold air is denser than warm air. So when the warm air tries to scour this out, it takes a while to do that. The good news is we have a southeasterly wind. If you had a southwest wind trying to scour this out, we'd have to go over the mountains and it would kind of blow over the dome. And again, these domes of cold air, 500 feet, maybe 1,000 feet, that's all. They're very, very thin layers, but just thin enough to the surface and a little bit above to allow some icing and temperatures to remain around freezing. We're going to have another southeasterly flow, much like we did Wednesday into Thursday. That will scour out the air quickly, but the problem is that it's colder to start, so it's going to take a little while to get all the cold air out. Let's go through the precip types. Wish it were just all snow. It is not. So we'll go through the one we all know. This is rain. Everything starts out as snow, and then it melts through this warm column of air, and it falls as rain. Now we get into some exceptions to the rule. Everything starts as snow, goes through a big column of air, melts. So now it's a drop, okay? It stays a drop, but then it hits the surface and freezes on contact, and that's the freezing rain. That's what caused the glaze we had Wednesday night, up to 1/10 of an inch, a little bit outside the Beltway, but up to 1/2 an inch up in Frostburg. Sleet, better, doesn't collect on limbs or power lines, starts as snow. Notice it has a much more shallow, warm layer, so it becomes a flake, a drop, back to a frozen drop, which is a little sleet pellet. That's what bounces off your windshield and does not stick on the trees or power lines. And of course, our favorite is when the whole cylinder above us is cold, and then it's just snow. Then it's just a question of how much is going to fall. Generally speaking, as you go up and up in the atmosphere, it gets colder and colder, but also we have these exceptions, and that's why you have like weird things like freezing rain and sleet. Okay. A weather impact alert, I'm going to do it for all of Saturday, keep it simple, but we'll talk about some critical times. 9 a.m. to midnight. Now, if you are in the metro, D.C., kind of around the Beltway, it's about 10 a.m. to about 7 p.m. But if you're north of town, Gaithersburg North, and particularly along I-70, you're going to see a mix until about midnight. So what's the impact? Snow, sleet, freezing rain. Light accumulation, we could see, up to an inch, pretty much across the board, except for extreme southern Maryland. So what do you need to know? Well, roads are going to be wet. Some are going to be slick. So, it's not going to be a disaster. It's not going to be an ice storm. But if you do go out Saturday, just use caution. That's all. And if you're walking around, use caution. Because even though sleet doesn't stick to anything, it can be slippery. little balls of ice. So the winter weather advisory was extended just after noon today to include D.C., Prince George's, all of Montgomery, Fairfax, and also Prince William County. So this area goes from 10 a.m. tomorrow to 7 p.m. on Saturday. The advisories north of Frederick and Hagerstown, they go till midnight because the mix continues until midnight. So this is critical. Lows tonight. Right around freezing. 28 in Germantown, 30 at Dulles, 30 at Springfield, even 32 downtown. Even our friends in La Plata and Waldorf, 31. So it's not like it's setting the stage for a big ice storm, but temps are going to go down to the 30s and then sort of hold there through much, if not all, of tomorrow. Futurecast. 11 o'clock tonight. Nice. Cold, but nice. Temperatures are low 30s pretty much across the board. Above freezing down toward Fredericksburg and, Patuxent River and Tappahannock. Now, let's talk about Saturday morning. So this is what I mean. 8 o'clock in the morning, in the metro, we're fine. Some flakes flying, Culpeper, Luray, that's in the blue. The magenta here is your mixture. So By 10 o'clock, now some of the flakes getting into Fairfax and D.C. and Leesburg and even La Plata will have snow initially. And then by, say, 11:30, snow downtown, snow maybe over in Prince George's County, but already a mix, west and southwest. So it doesn't snow long. It really doesn't. Don't get your hopes up. It starts snowing. It may snow fairly steady for a while, but unfortunately the atmosphere just won't keep it because of those warm layers that intrude. By 1:30, we have a mix across the board, and notice the winds are now east-southeast, so that will help us a little bit. By the time it's, say, 4 o'clock, now we have a pretty good area of a mix across most of the metro. And look at the temperatures, just stubborn. 32 Fredericksburg, 32 D.C. I think 29 is a little cold for Gaithersburg, but more like 30, 31, Gaithersburg, Leesburg, and even up into Frederick and Hagerstown. By 6 o'clock, most of the activity is done around the Beltway, still lingering a little bit north. There is one little patch down to the south. And also, notice our friends in southern Maryland. 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, you kick to just plain old-fashioned rain. But also notice this. By 8 o'clock, most of us are done. But if you're north of I-70, you still have a mix going on. So that's why those particular advisories go until midnight. And ours shut off at 7 o'clock in the evening. Temperatures still troublesome. 29 Hagerstown, 31 in Gaithersburg. 11 o'clock, trying to kick to rain, but temperatures still in the low 30s across the board. And then by 2 o'clock, the good news is temperatures are not going to plummet. So we're not going to have any kind of a flash freeze Saturday night into Sunday, which is good news if you're going to go to church Sunday morning, and good news, Super Bowl parties, no problem going to and from. All right, here's a slushy Saturday. I'm going to show you this. I mean, essentially everybody gets a coating to an inch of either snow and or sleet and or freezing rain. Now, I'll update that for you tonight at 11. Ice potential is less than Wednesday night, which is good. Wednesday night, you might remember we had 1/10 of an inch in D.C. and up to like, a 1/4 inch in Hagerstown. This is all essentially under 1/10 of an inch, and that's good because anything over 1/10 of an inch becomes a little troublesome and can take down some branches and some trees. Okay. Now, we're going to pivot here, okay? We're going to go to Tuesday. This is the American model, although I will say the American model, the European model, pretty close now. I will also say this storm Monday was a beast. Now it looks like it's going to be significant. 5:30 in the morning, that's a mixture of that snow back toward Culpeper. All kicks to snow by 11:30 in the morning. And again, the darker shade of blue, heavier the snow. So the heaviest snow around lunchtime on Tuesday would be Culpeper into Fredericksburg. And this is kind of interesting because it sort of shifted its heavy snow south. I'll show you a snowfall map in a second. This is 3:30 on Tuesday. Still snowing in the district, but snowing heavily down to the south. 8 o'clock at night, pretty good snow is kind of inching their way up to D.C. That's 8 o'clock on Tuesday night. By 11:30, pretty good snows up to Frederick, but heaviest snow still in southern Maryland. So it's going to impact the evening commute on Tuesday, and right now it's a little too close to tell if it would impact the morning commute. By early morning on Wednesday, still has some snow, and notice the arrows are northeasterly and not southeasterly. That's why we're able to keep this cold column of air and produce snow. So that's early in the morning on Wednesday. Kicks to maybe a mix before ending. That's 9:30 Wednesday morning, and then it just sort of shuts off in the afternoon. So the bulk of the precipitation will be, late Tuesday morning and into Tuesday night. So here's my DraftKings for you. Seeing flakes, 99% chance. Coating to an inch, 80% chance. 1 to 2 inches, 70% chance. 2 to 4 inches, we'll say 50. More than 4, we'll parlay that into a 40% chance bet at this point. And I do not like percentages, but I thought this would give you kind of an idea of what we're thinking 4 days out. Snow potential. The map I just showed you, this is the numerical form of that. So this is the GFS. Tuesday morning doesn't have a lot, has almost an inch in Culpeper. And then by 11:30 at night, it has, 1, 2, 3 inches. And notice, heaviest snow is now south of town. On Monday, it had 17 inches in Gaithersburg. Now it has less snow, and the focus is south. So they're not quite locked into a solution, but all the models have this storm. By 12:30 on Wednesday, we've got 6 in La Plata, 4 in D.C., 3-ish Frederick, and also Gaithersburg. So this has now become anywhere from a 2 to maybe 7-inch storm on Tuesday. Okay, that's the American model, and that's the one that has pushed the heavier snow south. European model has a tiny bit of snow, much like the American model, in here by Tuesday morning, but just, a tenth of an inch of snow. By 1 o'clock, an inch, pretty much across the board. And then by 6 p.m., we've got pretty consistent 3-inch snow bands, even almost up to Frederick. That's at 6 p.m. on Tuesday. And then by 7:30 in the morning on Wednesday, pretty similar. 4 Frederick, almost 4 in Leesburg, 5 in La Plata. So these models are pretty close. You don't really see this too often 4 days out. Because at one time, this model had 13 inches in D.C. and then flipped and turned lower. So they're still figuring things out a little bit. So just sort of keep that in mind. High temperatures are going to go up and down. Yep, we're going to be on a roller coaster. 30s tomorrow, but near 50 on Super Bowl Sunday. And again, driving to and from parties, no problem. Cold again Monday, cold again Tuesday, as you might expect because of the snow, and then kind of chilly on Wednesday, but not crazy cold. Now, next 10 days, it continues. Upper 40s Thursday, Friday, a little colder Saturday, and then the following Monday, it gets cold again with temperatures in the 30s again. So it's going to be, kind of a roller coaster, and it's going to be still a busy month in terms of storms. They're all not going to hit us, but they're going to be close. So here's our weather impact alert on Saturday, 37. Near 50 on Sunday, breezy. Monday, nice. High clouds come in late, but chilly, low 40s. There's our weather impact alert on Tuesday. And then maybe some early snow on Wednesday, maybe going to a mix, and then maybe a quick mix going to rain on Thursday. There's yet another storm Thursday. Really, we're tracking a storm Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday of the following week. Very active pattern. If you're a snow lover, it could have been, dreamy. Right now, this does not look like a problem, and that does not look like a problem, but Tuesday is our focus after Saturday for accumulating snow. Now, I'll see you tonight at 11. I'll have updated information on Saturday's mess and Tuesday's snow. Remember, follow us, WSA9.com, and download our app, because if there's pictures, we got some great pictures on Thursday after the ice from Weather Watchers. Just download the app, hit Near Me, and you can upload your picture instantly, and we'll put it on the air. For now, I'm Meteorologist Topper Shutt. We'll see you tonight at 11.